Hi friends, my dear students, observe the photo. You might have seen this photo many times in many places in which Lord Sri Krishna is preaching Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, who was in grief in the war front. When Lord Krishna, who was the charioteer of Arjuna's Ratha, brought the chariot and stopped in front of the Kouravas army, which is ready to battle. Why? Why the war is inevitable? This is a vital question to be answered. As you know, the Pandavas spent 12 years in exile, that is Aranyavasa, and 1 year unknown to anyone who lived in a secret place, that is Ajnatavasa. So Pandavas successfully completed 13 years, that is 12 years in exile and 1 year unknown to anyone. After successfully completing the 13 years, they demanded the half of the empire which Duryodhana promised to give them back. When Pandavas spent Lord Sri Krishna as a mediator to the Kuru Sabha, where Lord Sri Krishna asked Dhritarashtra to give the Pandavas half of the empire as his sons promised. Then Duryodhana declared that he won't give the pinpoint of the land at least to the Pandavas. They can get their empire by doing the battle with his army. Lord Sri Krishna, who failed to make Dhritarashtra and his sons to convince in giving the half of the empire, as Dharmaraja asked Lord Sri Krishna to convey Dhritarashtra to give at least 5 villages for their livelihood to look after their mother happily. As I already said, Dhritarashtra denied, mercilessly denied to give at least a land part that covers a pinpoint. He bluntly refused to give. Lord Sri Krishna, who returned to Pandavas, informed the same that happened in Kouravas. Then the war is inevitable. Pandavas, after taking permission from their mother Kunti, they got ready with their army. They assembled in Kurukshetra with their armies, with their supporters. Likewise, the army of Duryodhana also arrayed in the battlefield. The marshal of the Kuru army is Dronacharya, and the Pandavas army marshal is Drishtadyumna, son of Drupada, who was friend of Dronacharya. When both armies are got ready in the battlefield, Lord Sri Krishna brought the chariot of Arjuna and stopped in front of the Kuru army. Arjuna keenly observed the opponent's army. Though they are opponents, he had to fight with his respectable Guru Dronacharya and his son Ashwathama. He had to fight with the Kuru Vruddha, Pitamaha, Bhishmacharya. He observed all his brothers, the kith and the kin, and his heart was filled with immense grief. With whom I should fight? With my own brothers, with my own gurus, with my own Pitamaha. How can? For the sake of the power, why should I fight? I don't want to get such power by killing my lords, my gurus, my acharyas. No. Arjuna, who was filled with immense grief, dropped his arrow and bows, got down the chariot, and sat near the wheel of the chariot, kept his hand to the chin. He was suffering from immense sadness, misery. Lord Sri Krishna, who noticed the condition of Arjuna, who is the key warrior of Pandavas' army, who dropped his weapons and unwilling to fight with his own kith and kin. He bluntly rejected to fight with the Kouravas' army. Then Lord Sri Krishna understood that it is the right time, it is the high time to teach Arjuna the Bhagavad Gita, the universal text in which the scriptures direct the people how to lead our lives, how to do our work, how to do our karma without expecting any result. This is the essence of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Lord Sri Krishna preached Arjuna. Through Arjuna, Lord Sri Krishna preached the whole world about the great message that Bhagavad Gita contained, which is known as universal text, not belongs to any religion, any caste, any creed, any country in particular. So, in this way, when the war between Pandavas and Kauravas is inevitable, Lord Sri Krishna preached Srimad Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. One must know how Bhagavad Gita made Arjuna to get ready to fight against Kouravas' army. So, in this way, the war started between Pandavas and Kouravas. At that time, Dhritarashtra, who was the blind king, wanted to know what is going in the battlefield. The Veda Vyasa came to Dhritarashtra and asked him if he wants to see the battlefield, I will give you the intuitive vision, that means the natural power of eyesight, to watch the battlefield, how his own sons are going to be killed by the Pandavas. Then Dhritarashtra said, "Oh, my dear sage Vedavyasa, by birth I am blind. Now I don't want to get intuitive vision. That means the power of eyesight. Now I don't want to see my own son's destruction with my own ears, own eyes. I don't want to listen with my own ears, and I don't want to see with my eyes." Then Vedavyasa said, "Oh, Zoroaster, you don't want to see, but at least you can listen what is going on the battlefield. So I give your beloved minister Sanjaya the intuitive vision, who can see what is going on in the battlefield by sitting in front of you in the palace. As Vedavyasa said, who blessed Sanjaya, who got intuitive vision to see by sitting there, he can explain, he can give a commentary to his blind king. So as Sanjaya was blessed, when Dhritarashtra asked Sanjaya, what is going on in the battlefield in which Pandavas and my sons who are ready to fight to get the power, come on, tell me, what is going on in the battlefield? Then Sanjaya started explaining the battle that is going to begin in Kurukshetra. So like that, the Kurukshetra war became inevitable because of the foolish decision taken by the egoistic Duryodhana, who invited his own destruction and death finally. So that is the way, that is the reason why the war is inevitable. Thank you, my dear friends. This is just an introduction of Bhagavad Gita. The Kurukshetra war made Lord Sri Krishna to teach Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, through which we can also learn what is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Once again, thank you. Thank you, one and all.